Now, this is not looking particularly good, is it? I thought it would be bad. I don't know why I thought it maybe wouldn't be this bad. 1 FPS. I'm actually getting 4 FPS. 3. Not ideal at all. But yeah, settings like this are not going to be doable at all. I'm still at 4K, but I've switched ray tracing off, so we've got that switched off here. And that's giving us about 20 to 25 FPS by the looks of it. Definitely a lot better than ray tracing on. Image quality, I think, looks better for me as well straight away. It actually looks like a normal image now. Not getting all that ghosting and weirdness. And if we maybe switch it down to switch the graphics, probably going to have to switch it to low just to give us a rough idea of what we'd actually have with that. Switch it all to low. Still can't hit 60, just under 56. Can obviously definitely tell the difference between low and cinematic. In this situation, you definitely want to drop down to 1440p and play with higher graphic settings, really, than do this. But if I switch, I could actually probably switch back to epic, or cinematic is what it's called, isn't it? If I apply that and then actually put it down to, if we put FSR quality and frame generation on, there you go. Around about 60. So it's possible you can play this at 4K, which normally this isn't really a 4K GPU, I would say. It's mainly targeted at 1440p. I'm at 1440p and I've got all the graphics set to the max, including we've got full ray tracing on. Curious to see how this does at 1440p compared to 4K. It was obviously completely unplayable at 4K. Slightly better at 1440p, 20 FPS here. We drop this down to FSR quality, or actually maybe go further, 45%, which I'm not actually sure what that is. I'll put frame generation on as well. I think this is probably around about performance. It definitely looks it. I think balanced is around 50% odd, so this probably is borderline on performance. 40 FPS, a lot better, but image quality really takes a hit here. I'm at 1440p and I've got all the graphics maxed out, so it's set to cinematic. All I've got is I've switched full ray tracing off. FPS here should hopefully look a lot healthier than what we had. Immediately does look quite a lot better than 4K at least. We were breaking 60, but it seems like it's dipping down a little bit more. 50. Definitely going to be a lot more playable frame rates though than what we had before. Even our 0.1% low here, 31's not looking too bad. Frame time looking a lot better. Maybe drop some of the graphic settings, or set the preset from cinematic to just one below. So I set it to very high. I should imagine we pretty much get it mostly above 60 there without too many dips down. So you're seeing 70 FPS there, seeing 61 there, but your average is still going to be quite a bit over that. I don't think there's too much graphic quality loss with it like this either. I still think the game looks pretty good. I'm back at the cinematic graphics quality, but I've switched FSR down to quality, so it's at 67%, and I've got frame generation on, and we should see FPS go up quite a lot here. There you go, breaking 100. So you'll almost definitely still, I think, get some dips under 100, but that's still way, way higher than what we were, and with a bit of luck, don't really get, not got any latency or anything like that we were getting at 4K. This is going to be much more suitable for this. And even on the hardware, still looks fine. 10 gigs of VRAM, powers, still looks fine. I switched it down to 1080p now, and I've got the graphics settings still maxed out, and we've got ray tracing on as well. And we're still not getting particularly good FPS. I thought maybe it'd be a little bit higher than this, even at 1080p, but still not quite getting above 20 FPS. A little bit surprised by that. I thought maybe we'd get, 20 to 30. And the image quality here is really not good. Looks absolutely horrendous. So yeah, a little surprised by that. Maybe if we switch on some FSR and frame generation, if I drop that down again, maybe even if we drop this to quality, so I'll put it to 67% and put frame generation on, and that just about makes it playable at 60 FPS, which is still crazy. 1080p with ray tracing on, FSR quality and frame generation, only just about getting 60, and even here it dips down closer to 50. Probably even going to be areas you get at 40, I would guess. I'm still at 1080p, but I've switched ray tracing off now, so that's that there. The rest of the graphics are still maxed at cinematic. It'd be interesting to see if we can get about 60. Looks like we still can't quite stay above 60. Getting it dipped down 52, 53. So it's still really heavy, even with ray tracing off here. You can almost definitely drop the preset down from cinematic, which I can have a look at now. If we drop that down to cinematic, I would have thought we'd be over 60 with that. So if you just put everything to very high, and there's even probably some optimization within that. 1 or 2 settings specifically are probably more demanding than some others, so you probably don't necessarily even need to drop all of them to very high. But we are breaking 60 here now, average closer to 70. So that's almost definitely, even in some demanding areas, it's going to dip down, but it should still stay above 60. But back at cinematic. So if I switch that back to the max, we'll apply that, and then we'll maybe drop it down to, if we put FSR quality, frame generation on, see what that gives us. Over 100 FPS, so that's obviously very good. Shouldn't get any latency really with it like this. Our frames, our native frames were, I think, high enough to not really have too much latency there. So it feels okay to me. Frame time looking a lot nicer. Even our lows here look alright. 0.1% low. Not had any stuttering at all, which with these settings at 1440p, I did get a little bit of stuttering, but it seems okay here. If you've enjoyed this video, click one of the videos on the screen now to see me testing more GPUs, and I'll catch you next time.